And we're live! Happy Friday at the Nerd Den! Woo!
Yeah.
So Zach is going to be here in a minute, and Andrew, he was at a. Is he at a comic
Uh,
convention?
I don't know what he's doing.
I think he's at a comic convention or something.
Could be. I think he said something about driving to one someplace, or I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I try not to. I try not to.
Yeah,
I'm
but
like, I don't know. He's like, oh, I'm going here this weekend. I'm like, yeah, okay, that's great.
yeah, I've watched some of the stuff we were talking about in the green room. I've watched some people who play the VR of Skyrim,
Yeah.
right?
Hey, MK.
And they have a follower, or some of the NPCs are being controlled by AI, so it can have organic conversations, ones within the lore and ones without lore, outside, like fourth wall breaking conversations.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Soon, someone's going to integrate one of these AIs into their game at launch, and it's going to have a script, but it's also going to be like, here's the parameters of how you can go outside of a
Right.
script also, and
Right.
you're going to have some really dynamic stories that way, because it's going to be able to go off scripts in some ways. It's going to be crazy.
That's awesome, man. I love like that. That actually sounds really cool.
Yeah.
Hey, Misfit Corner says we'll be in shortly. All right, cool.
Yeah. All right.
So I was saying in the green room, and MK, this is like you can totally pipe in on this too. Like, I've been looking at. So one of the things that I want to do very, very soon, and I've been working very hard on it, is setting it up so that we can have like a show, right? Like I'm dead set on it. I think we can do it. A lot of it is just figuring out how we can do it without like how we can do it on like a weekly schedule. It's got to be a weekly schedule, and it can't be like the only thing we do because we do so much, right?
Yes.
So I've been looking at a lot of different people, a lot of different styles, combinations. AI is totally the way to go. But I've been debating because certainly season one and a lot of our background is core like comic books and animation. But where AI is right now is that you actually get a better result with live action. So I've been wondering if the show isn't more of like an AI live action thing with flashbacks that are almost animated.
Yeah, there
I
are
think
no
we
there
could
are no rules. You can do whatever you want. Yeah.
totally. So just what I've been doing for the longest time is I've been kind of getting like digging into a style. MK says interesting, even with Runway. Yeah. So if you the best use of the tools right now is that I've seen is using using like Midjourney, using Midjourney to render a shot or render a character shot, and then using Runway to do was it Runway One or whatever it's called to do the acting, because their tracking mechanism for the face is so good, and it actually works really, really well on live action, quote unquote live action characters, or characters that are rendered more realistically. Animation is not there yet. It's getting there. I think I'm 100% confident you'll probably by the summer there'll be a model that does anime or animation pretty well, and by the end of the year you'll be able to do both pretty well. The challenge with the animation, though, there's a couple things that are challenging. The first is that like everything that's being done is for anime specifically, and you still have the problem of rendering repetitive like characters in multiple shots. So if you have character A and you want to do them from different angles in multiple different shots like you would any animated show or even with film, it's really difficult. You can do it, but not on a you can do it if you were doing a music video and you had like a longer timeline, but you can't really, it's really difficult to do that if you're trying to bust out something every week.
Why can't they give an AI control of a program like Maya or one of these other animation programs?
Well, they do. They have there are 3D programs now, and this is sort of what's happening. This is why I'm kind of trying to be patient on the animation side. You can now take an image from Midjourney or any render from anything, and there are 3D programs that are AI controlled, and they'll take that 2D image and go ahead and rotate it in 3 dimensions, and you can have a splined out character in 3D ready to go, but then you're still stuck with the idea that you have to animate it. So, the biggest problem is if we did it in 2D, like if we wanted to do an animated, like a traditionally animated looking thing, it would actually still be hard to do it with the characters we already have existing right now because they're so specific. It'd actually be easier to roll a new character in Midjourney and just use that one shot as the shot for the character. So I've been playing with these things back and forth, and it's interesting too because like, and this is like just kind of the way that the properties develop is, when we launched AF, that season 1 is totally a nod to Venture Brothers, right? Like it's Venture Brothers meets X-Men basically.
Meets 90 Comics.
90s Comics meets Venture Brothers. And because I was like, this is going to be a great comedy show. But as we've started to do books and RPGs and some of these comics, like it's actually turning into a little more, I don't want to say serious, but a little more like story, like actual story, less comedy. Well, right? Not that we want to cut out comedy, but I'm starting to think it might lend itself a little more towards the realism, at least for a show that we can bang out in a week. Still do animation. Like I still think there's a place for 2D animation, but keep it like in a flashback or like a memory sequence or something, so that we can kind of control it a little better. I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Todd, that's how the book turned out, actually. The novel I wrote.
Yeah.
It actually was, pretty dark near the end.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I was always kind of wondering how we would square that with the fact that we're basically doing a comedy show. But
well, I don't think you. I don't think. Well, see, I think that's the point. Like, which is the real Batman? The Batman from the 1960s TV show or Frank Miller's Batman? Like, they're both Batman. They're just completely different, like, vibes of Batman, right? So I don't think there's a problem necessarily in doing something serious versus something humorous,
Yeah, they did Batman 66.
That's right. So I'm kind of like, well, what if the style? So a lot of the styles that I've been messing with are like shots. Think like almost like Cyberpunk Goonies meets Buckaroo Banzai. That makes sense. Like that old kind of film style. It's a Panavision film style, like the old 80s. Yeah, I've just been experimenting a lot with it, and it looks pretty good. It's really interesting. I'm just like, I haven't pulled the trigger yet on like, yeah, we're gonna do a live action show. I'm gonna start doing a lot of tests. I think that's just at this point. I think that's where we have to go, is just start doing like a couple of tests and put it out on the feed and see what the reaction is from people. Because I think there's a place for both. Like, why can't you have?
Yeah.
I get like, I want it to be succinct, but I'm kind of like, well, why can't you have, like a you remember the old Transformers toy commercials, where like the kids, it was almost like a sand dune, and they would always put the robots on the sand dune and stuff. Like, why can't you have that and then also have like an animated, like 2D animated Transformer show as well, like kind of intermixed or whatever, for whatever point you're trying to make. So I don't
there
know,
are
man.
no rules. We could do whatever we want.
Yeah, that's what I think. I'm kind of like, we've got a pitch deck. So what I did January, as I kind of redid the pitch deck, the concept Bible for adult fantasy, and it's pretty dope. I'm pretty happy with it. Trying to decide. I haven't decided yet if we want to make it public. I probably should. I'll just put it in maybe for summoner, like in that summoners chat, give everyone something special.
Sure.
But yeah, like some of the shots are really good. Like, let me show you. I'll show you one that wasn't necessarily adult fantasy, but it's totally adult fantasy. Yeah, check this out. I just have this on my desktop, so let's see. Right? Oh, Avery muted his mic. Good response, everybody. Appreciate it.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Right? Like it has that. You see how I'm telling you? It has that like Big Trouble in Little China vibe, or that Buckaroo Banzai vibe, but it's also like 80s cheesy B movie, but it also looks awesome.
Is that supposed to be Taylor Swift?
Sorry, Zach, I couldn't hear you.
Is that supposed to be Taylor Swift?
No, it's some random thing. MK says HR Puffin Stuff vibes. Totally, yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think there might be something to this style and to this kind of vibe, where we can kind of like expand on it. So I just was like having like some woman standing next to some monster in this type of style, just so I could kind of see like what it would look like. That's pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
Like you could imagine like her talking or something in that shot. So I'm not sure. I think it's something I'm working on. It's just I will say this. It is a very odd feeling, because one of the things that I've had running through my head is what do you create when everybody can create anything? Right? Like my initial instinct was like, fuck, I can do anime? Like, that's fucking cool. The Japanese studios are already using it. They're using AI to create the keyframes, or I think they're creating the keyframes and using AI to animate the in-betweens, and then they're going in and just tweaking the in-between frames, like just cleaning up all the AI messes, like 6 fingers or whatever. And they're saving themselves a ton of time. Like, you're going to see some Japanese animation come out soon that's going to be unbelievable. Like, it's going to look like it cost like Akira level, but they'll have knocked it out half the price. So I was like, man, I could do some anime, like really make this a cartoon. I definitely have my own animation style, so it's not anime, but it's also not traditional, like traditional cartoony stuff. Like, that'd be really cool. But then I'm just like, man, it's going to take a long time because I still have to draw the characters. You can use Midjourney to kind of get some characters, like get the poses together, but then for us to draw our characters, like overlay our characters, would take a lot of time. And then I'm like, and I'm not that I don't like anime. I think anime is awesome, but like, give it 3 months, 6 months. Everybody and your mother is going to be doing anime. Like, as Azuki is going to have an AI anime show, and so is everybody's going to have it. Like, everyone's going to do it, because it's not going to take a lot of time. So I don't know. I'm looking to create something that is uniquely us, that someone can't easily rip off, I guess, or copy. Does that make sense?
They're just gonna have to tell the AI copy this style.
Yeah.
Yeah. Avery, what are you doing?
It's not me.
Is that me?
It must be you. Zach is muted. Someone's banging on the. Are you typing?
I wasn't banging on anything.
Oh.
Did it go away when I muted?
It sounded like somebody was typing. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Really quick, fascinating. Our friends at Style Protocol,
Yeah.
have now launched 3D AI Agents Launchpad. Create your own AI 3D agent and token in minutes. Anyone with token can use the model. That's like their little tagline in their Twitter.
Really? Dude, send me a link to that.
Yeah, they have a different Twitter that's for this one. I'll send it to you.
Yeah, that might be interesting. Maybe we could partner with them on something. I'm so excited. There's so much stuff we're working on. We're this close to being able to like talk about it. Oh my God.
It's really big.
It's annoying. It's really big and really awesome. And we're teasing Avery's art, which is fucking great. Avery, we posted your the pencil version of that spread.
Yeah.
I know you don't like sharing the work in progress, but I appreciate it. People love it, dude. It's so important.
I told Todd we should wait until it was like a little bit better.
Oh, whatever, dude. Don't you dare
Trying to
throw
make
me
you-
under a bus. There's the bus. Interestingly, I found out that Midjourney, and this is new, I think. Midjourney is terrible with their regulations. Like it's so like if I have a woman in a bathing suit and I'm trying to match the style, like the AI bot or whatever in Midjourney will flag it as potential bullshit, as potential like nudity or like a violation of the terms.
I think that
But now they have.
I mean, I've had that trouble too, but there's ways to get around it. You just gotta, it's how you frame it. But yeah, they're so freaked out that people will be using their platform to make
For
porn.
naughty stuff, yeah.
Well,
But-
not just that. It's like like the really illegal stuff is what they're freaked out about because that might. Well, anyway,
Sure.
Didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
Sure.
Please continue.
No, it's okay. But yeah, I just want to say, what's up, Carrots? How you doing? Welcome. He said, what you post in Discord looks really great. Yeah, man. Avery's been killing it, dude. Killing it. It's so good. But yeah, so I've been playing around with Midjourney, like trying to get some shots, trying to test it and push it and see what I can get. And they've now have a subtle little appeal button. And so you get flagged because the problem is like if we're gonna do stuff with adult fantasy or superhero characters, you want to have your men and your women, like both sexes, you want them to look good. They want to look sexy and hot, and it'd be nice to have like an attractive female hero or something, and not a risque pose, just like standing there, but you can't do it. So they now have an appeal button that's really subtle, and what they say is, if you think this was a mistake, hit the appeal button and we'll have a more advanced AI check it, like recheck it. And so I've been doing that. Like I tried it by doing like just some like something that I would never get past, which is like a girl in a bikini, right? Like that is like I've tried comic book characters. Like I was just doing regular comic book female characters, but I guess bodysuits are a problem because they show shapes. Nothing creepy, just X-Men, but it wouldn't do it. So I said, okay, a beautiful woman in a bathing suit, and it flagged it, said, sorry, this is against terms. We think this might be against terms. Hit appeal, and it actually passed appeal, which is great because that means they're getting better at like allowing people to make what they need to make.
What's up, guys?
MK, what's up, man? MK says, I can be the OG saying, I remember when they were cool and didn't sell out like an emo with their band.
Yeah.
MK, you let me know how we can sell out, and I will jump into that pool. We're just too real. How's it going, Drew?
Not too bad, guys. Not too bad.
How was you went to a show, right? You went to a comic show?
Yeah. Went down
Yeah,
to a weird sale and picked up a couple of boxes worth of comics, and yeah, just now going through some of them. Even though I'm at
a couple of boxes.
Yeah, well, it was one of those things: fill a box for $60 or fill two boxes for $100. So I got 2 boxes full of comics. So
that's cool.
Yep.
Awesome.
A classic.
Oh, it's Norm Brayfogle. Hold on.
Yes.
Hold on. Hold that up again.
He's no longer with us, so whenever I see a good one of his, I grab it. I think I got a couple of detectives in here too. So
He was truly like a legend. That guy, I loved his Batman is my all-time favorite.
I did find a comic in here that I picked up for you specifically. Do you remember the guy? I got to find it. I got to go through it. But do you remember the guy that did the graphic novel series Silver?
Yeah, I have him.
Yes.
Well, he's a good guy. Yeah, we talked to him every year at the near.
Well, he did a free comic book edition, and I'm not sure if it reprints something from one of the 4 graphic novels or if it's a standalone story.
Yeah.
But I found it in the bins and grabbed it for you. So.
Oh, awesome.
Wait, is it that dude that had that sort of Bill Sienkiewicz looking style?
No, it's
he,
black and white, and
it's I got his box set. It's
Why don't you highlight you so we can actually see it?
Yeah. I gotta see the interior.
It's all black and white, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah, he actually
Vampire
was,
Hunters, I think, is the storyline.
Yeah, he did four volumes, and he's an animation director.
I'm thinking of something else. I think it's called Sliver or something similar.
Yeah. This guy was he was like one of the art directors on Iron Giant, and he ended up directing one of the What If episodes. But his style is like really good. It's like a more animated Mignola.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, he's pretty good. Let's see if I figure. Yeah. It's really, really good. Like, it's weird. It's really strange. It's really the storytelling. Like, no joke. The actual story, like the writing of the story, is incredibly good. Like, really, it's probably one of the best comics that I've read in the last 10 years. It's that good. And it's just a Dracula story, but it's the way he kind of tells it. It's really, really good. And I think it got optioned, so it may end up turning into a actual movie. So, which would be pretty cool. He's a Hollywood guy, so.
Yeah, but I guess at one point he did a free comic book day edition. It's just comic size and comic book size. But when I was looking at it, it looked like it might be original material. So I went ahead and threw it in the box for you. So
thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I know I am. Thank you. So what's the topic of conversation tonight, guys?
We've just been shooting the shit a little bit. We started talking about video games and what Avery's been working on, and we were talking about we got into talking about Fallout, and then I started talking about this animated show that we're working on, because I've been playing with. Actually, Andrew, I'll show you this shot.
Hey Todd, I sent you that. Did you see that animated thing I sent you just a little while ago? That's sort of like a parody of Nosferatu kind of thing. The new Nosferatu.
I think I saw the link. I don't think I saw the animation. The thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll check it out. Yeah. So Andrew, this was like sort of a rendered shot in a kind of an old 80s style, and I was like, okay, beautiful woman next to a monster, like in a style that's kind of like a retro 80s, kind of a dark fantasy kind of vibe. I just wanted to see like what the tone would be. It's pretty cool, man. It's really neat. Like, I'll show you another one.
Or is this just a still?
No. This is just a render. It's just one image. Okay. I'm looking at styles, and I'll show you. This was another one. This is from our pitch Bible, the new one that we did in January. But it kind of has like a vibe, right? So this is kind of like a
like an adult fantasy, like lots of kind of like a sci-fi 80s, lots of smoke and neon lights kind of shimmering. So I'm just trying to see like I'm starting to set the stage for like what we can actually do a little bit, because I think at the end of the day we just need to we'll just need to start. I need to start playing with it and maybe do some test videos, And honestly, like we said before, like I'll probably start with commercials because that's been my bread and butter, like animated commercials and stuff. So I'll probably just start with some commercials.
Okay.
But yeah, I
like it.
It's pretty exciting, it doesn't negate animation either, which is cool because we can combine it. We can add it in there. But yeah, man, this week was crazy. Like my kids were sick all week long. Eva still has a fever, but we sent her to school anyway. We're like, fuck it.
Oh man.
She's been sick. It's been all week, dude. 5 days. Like, just go to school. Like, maybe going to school and getting outside will like knock that fever down or something.
Usually no.
Yeah. It didn't. It doesn't matter. They actually got to school, so they're not contagious or anything. They have a fever. Like, it's not like, I don't know what it is.
Fevers usually indicate contagion.
No,
Yeah.
they're not contagious. I mean, they might be, but I don't care.
You're part of the problem, Todd.
I am.
This was something I found that was kind of cool. This is the Bravura #0, part of the gold stamp program for Malibu Comics when they were doing their Bravura line.
Yeah.
Which included Breed by Jim Starlin, Power and Glory by Howard Chaykin, Edge by Stephen Grant and Gil Kane, Dreadstar by Jim Starlin and Early Colin, and Star Slammers by Walter Simonson. And on the bottom of it, it's actually signed by Stephen Grant.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah.
I don't know if I ever got my copy of that. I'm sure I sent that off for it.
I know I sent off for the copy of Image Comics #0, which you can find in 50-cent bins all the time. But I'd never seen the Bravura 0 before.
I don't think I got mine, but I know I collected those stamps and sent off for it.
Yeah, me too. Got them all. Absolutely got them all.
Yeah.
Actually, I think of all of them, Breed was probably the best.
Yeah, dude. I was enjoying that book.
Did you know they actually did 3 series of Breed?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't think I got all of the third one.
Well, the third one was published by Image.
Yeah.
And it was. Somebody was looking for a horror comic recently, and I said, "Ooh, have you ever seen Jim Starlin's Breed?" And they were like, "No, never heard of it." Well, I gave them a copy of issue #1. I said, "Here, read it. If you like it, I've got more. Come back for the rest of them." And I haven't seen him back yet, so he'll come back. He's a regular.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do that every now and then.
What's that?
Give away free comics in order to get them to come back.
Does it work?
Yeah. I got people that come back all the time. I have people that come to me, and specifically me, because of the deals I make. I've got a couple guys that go to their stores and buy regular comics, and they're like, I don't know why I keep spending all this money. I just come to you, and
and you give me free shit.
Sometimes that happens.
Yeah, free shit's good.
Yeah. Oh, please. You've gotten your share of free stuff before.
Oh, I am not complaining. My entire collection, I would say now 50% of my collection is because of you. or in
And the funny thing is, you only come like twice a year, Oh, what a great
But I get a
classic,
ton of stuff though.
what a great classic Brian Boland cover.
Oh wait, hold on. Oh yeah, that is awesome.
Oh yeah.
That's a classic one. Black Canary burning her old costume. Yeah, some of these that I pulled out, just I like the covers. Some of them, I bought a whole bunch of Topps X-Files comics just because they had a whole bunch of them. And there's, I think only like the first or second issue actually have any value left to them. But the rest of them, I mean, there's people out there that will read them, that'll buy them just to read them.
Yeah, someday, some X-Files fan that missed out on those is going to come by your store and buy them all.
Well, IDW, I think it's either IDW or Dynamite. I don't remember which one did an X-Files comic, and I actually, in this collection that I bought a few weeks ago, had a whole bunch of them. And I just ran out of bags and boards. But Topps was the first comic company to do X-Files comics, and I got a whole bunch of those. So
Topps actually did some decent stuff to start with.
Well, they did. They did Jurassic Park. They did. Oh! In this stack, somewhere in this stack, is a copy
The Mike Mignola Dracula.
Yes, the Mike Mignola Dracula.
Oh yeah, yep.
Do you remember the Jackie Chan comic that was drawn by Michael Golden?
No.
Yeah, of course. That was awesome. I used to have that.
I guess
that Jackie Chan comic. That Jackie Chan comic. Let me just say this. That Jackie Chan comic it was black and white. It had no business being as good as it was.
Well, I guess
it was that good.
I guess Image Comics picked it up to finish it, and the issue that I got was also a black and white. I think the first issue was in color, was it not? And all the other issues were in black and white.
No, they're all black and white.
But it was gorgeous
Sure.
Michael Golden art in black and white.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can't beat that.
Yeah, super good, man.
Yep.
Super good stuff.
A whole bunch of copies of the original Civil War series, limited series. I have a complete set of it somewhere in my collection, but to find more, it's always a good thing. Yeah, this is what I picked up today is just a variety of different things. Some of them were to fill holes. Some of them were just because they looked nice. Some of them were because I may know somebody who's looking for them. So we'll see we'll see.
Do you want to share like some of the stuff that you
I have
picked up, man?
If I find anything in here worth sharing, I'll share them with you. Yeah.
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 That would be nice.
Now I did get an email from Heritage Auction. Is there an auction going on right now? I figured you'd already know this.
Oh yeah, there's tons. There's always an auction. There was actually one with like fantasy books, and like the ones that are going on now are like video games, and in fact, like fantasy books, like the ones that Rick gave me. There's there's like a whole thing on that that just happened like 2 days ago. Really interesting stuff, man. Like, yeah, I don't know too much about that stuff, but it's super interesting.
Have you ever read the comic We Stand on Guard?
I've heard of this, but
it's an Image Comics book. It's a 6-issue limited series, and I recently, in part of the collection that I just got, included 2 copies of number 1. So I was looking for other issues in the series, like to make a bundle set. And I got a bunch of them, but it was Steve Skaros on art. But it's like 100 years in the future, and the U.S. has invaded to take over Canada. And
okay.
I guess it was recently in the news, so people were talking about it again. I don't know why exactly. Something about tariffs or something, but whatever.
Tariffs? What?
Exactly what I just said. Tariffs. Well, why? I have no idea.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got to order more bags and boards. I did a quick count of the comics from that collection of 17. 17 boxes that I got, how many I ordered 1,500 bags and boards, and I still need 340 more bags and boards in order to wrap that up.
Golly, dude.
Plus, then I got 2 more boxes worth that, of course, need bags and boards. So it's a never ending. It's the
It is
never
never
ending.
ending. My goal, one of my daydream goals for this year is to like get everything organized. Like everything back here is organized, but like then I have stacks of stuff from every time I come back from Andrew's comic shop that I need to like organize a little better. So I want to get like a new shelving, and like I actually want to organize all my books by artist, which I've never seen anyone do, and I'm really excited by that.
Did you say by artist?
By artist.
Okay.
Well, because that's how I look things up. Like when I'm like, because everything's for me is reference. So like I want to look at, Steve Scrose. Like I wouldn't have any idea where my stack Steve Scrose is, but if I want to see Steve Scrose style of how he would approach something, right?
This is another issue I picked up that I thought you'd like, but I think it might just be the cover. I'm looking inside real quick to see, but yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just the cover. It was an Action Comics cover with Etrigan by Jack Kirby.
Kirby, that's cool.
Yeah, but he didn't do any of the interior. It doesn't look like it.
And it's got Hulk Hogan on the back.
Does it? Yeah, it does. That makes it worth buying, right?
Hulk Hogan. Well, he was on the back of every fucking comic book, dude. He was on the back of everything. I'm trying to see how much some of those sci-fi books went for.
Well, share with us so we can see too.
Well, it's just hard because like I don't know what they are.
It's so funny doing a live stream with 5 people where everybody's distracted by what they're doing, not on stream.
I know. Well,
what are you doing, Dusty? What's new and happening, man?
I'm doing good.
Yeah.
How about you? Yeah, you went and bought books.
I bought comics. I mean, there's
more books.
You know how great it is to go and hang out at a comic show at a comic book store, and I get to do that every day.
You're living the dream, man.
Yeah.
Here, I'm going to share this screen here.
Now, if I could just find a way to make money off it, that's the trick.
Let me see if I can zoom in. No, that's the wrong window. Let me see if I can zoom in. So, yeah, like this one, Spicy Mystery. It's a 6.5. Satan's Mistress. It sold for $22,000. But like 1935. But I don't have any context as to why it sold for this. It's a classic cover. Earned an image featuring Good Girl art.
It's very spicy.
It's a copy in that grade, so I don't know. But like, let's see, yeah, 18,000. Like, I wanted to look at some of the amazing stories.
Those have got to be extremely rare books.
These are extremely rare books. Some of these sold for like $200, $100.
Right.
Like, and these are all from like 1930, 1934.
Yeah, and anything like
these
6 or higher, that's really good.
Yeah, these are all like, here's an 8.0 Weird Tales.
Now, are these comics or books?
No, these are books.
Okay.
These are like those. These are the same, in the same genre of book as the ones that Rick gave me.
Right.
Here's an amazing stories, right? But it's an 8.0. Right, and it's like a classic cover. So, this one sold for $1,300 because it was like a special thing, right? Here's a 9.2, so super mint condition.
I'm also guessing that there's not a lot of these that are graded.
Fair. Yeah.
So,
Hey, I have a question. What does FN plus mean?
fine plus.
Okay.
Good question. Like, this is a classic sci-fi cover that was used everywhere on posters and stuff. It's like $720. So they just kind of like
They made
Astounding
a lot of
science
these
fiction.
type of. They made a lot of those kinds of books back in the day. You know.
Oh, dude, I had no idea. I had no idea that there were so many
Oh yeah.
of these things going back so many decades. I had no idea.
And you know what's so funny? This size book still exists, but the only thing that's regularly published that's this size is Archie Digests.
Right.
Here in the States. In
Right.
in China, they still do the manga digest, and those are still published. But here in the States, the only thing that's still left from that genre of book size is the Archie stuff.
Right. Well, this one right here is like 1928, a 6.5 grade, and it's got an original story by H.G. Wells and
Oh,
David
wow.
Keller. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you know, I mean, 1928 is a good 30 years before, maybe more, 30, 32, 35 years before Fantastic Four #1.
A 6.5 copy of something that's almost 100 years old.
Yeah, it's
Frickin'
crazy.
A. Frickin'
Right.
A.
Yeah, so Astounding Science Fiction, 1940. This was like $400, but it's a 9.4.
Yeah. Does that, can you zoom in on one of those? I just want to see if that's considered CGC comics or if it's CGC books. It's universal grade. I can see that. Scroll down up to the top. Now go over to where it has the hologram on the other side. Okay, it's just CGC. Well,
It says cgccomics.com.
I wonder. So, Astonishing Science Fiction number 132. I want to look it up and see in their census what they have listed. What was the title again? Amazing what?
Astounding Science Fiction.
Astounding.
That was a big one. That was like around a long time.
Science Fiction. What was the number one? What?
132.
All right, zoom in on it again real quick. Make sure I spelled it correctly. Astounding Science Fiction 132. All right. Member sign in. I am a member. I'll sign in. Nope, no comics match that. Okay, so it might be. Let me see if they have it listed in. Oh, you know what? I didn't think to look in. Where's the census? Science Fiction 132. Nope, they don't have a listing for Astounding Science Fiction in here. I wonder if they have it listed somewhere else.
Are you looking at the CGC site?
Yeah, the CGC census site.
Interesting.
Oh, actually,
They don't have it listed.
wait a minute. Zoom in on the. Let me just write down I can write down the serial number. I can look it up by the serial number. Just any one of them. Pick any one of them.
Yeah.
All right. 4419776013. All right. I'm just curious of how many of them out there exist, you know?
Yeah, me too. I would love to look at this.
Let's see. 44197760113. Just out of curiosity, can you look it up? Nope, I can't look it up that way. I know you can look it up that way at some point. Oh, go to the registry. Let's see. All right, I can't. My eyes are not working right now.
You can't find it?
It's not. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm looking in there. I'm looking in the comic census. I'm trying to see if there's a other resources, publishers are storing in, because there's a CGC for comics, games. Well, no, it's listed as CGC. So
Saucy movie tales. Oh, where'd Andrew go?
I was literally getting ready to call you on your cell phone, say, "Hey, dummy, I'm back. Let me in. You're not looking at the screen."
I didn't know you left.
I accidentally closed my window, and I was talking, and I realized I closed the wrong window. So
that's funny.
All right, go back to the one that was Secret Agent X, because I found a listing for Secret Agent X. You were on it at one point, and then you. Yeah, oh, there it is. Go back up. Go back up. Slowly. And keep going. It was like the third one on the list. Third one in.
Right here?
Yeah, that's it. What number is that?
Oh, the actual number.
And who is it published by? Ace. Okay. Number 5. All right.
Volume 2, number 2. Because they do volumes, but.
No, number 5.
1934.
Let's see. Secret Agent X number 5, June 1934, from Ace Publisher. There is 2. There are only 2 of these that are graded. One's a 6.5 and one a 6.0. So these have got to be super rare in the fact that there's not very many of them out there, and that's the reason why the price is going crazy. It's like a brand new first time available item.
Where are you finding this? Is this on the CGC site?
Yeah, the CGC site has a CGC census page where you can type in an issue number, and it'll tell you how many of them are there, how many have been graded, and what grades they are at. How many of them
is that available? Is that like publicly available?
I believe it's publicly available, but I mean, I've got a membership, so I just log in. I don't know if anybody can just look, but But if that's the case, maybe you should get some of those books graded.
Yeah,
You know?
who knows if they're like, I want to read them though. But yeah, some of these are probably like that's probably what it is, or like there's a few that are just impossible to find. Right?
Yeah, that Secret Agent X series, there's 35 of them, 38 of them listed. Issue number 1, there's only 5 graded and 1 restored graded. So there's only 6 of them that are in existence graded.
Look up Amazing Stories, because there's like a shit ton of those books. Like there's Amazing Stories and Astounding Science Fiction. I mean, there's tons of these things, man. There's like hundreds, and I had no clue that there were like hundreds and like some of them are from like 1930 and it's issue 136. Like you're like, it's like turn of the century stuff. I had no clue.
Amazing Stories from, do you know which publisher? Because there's actually 7 different Amazing Stories listed.
Well, this one is
Gernsback. Gernsback. Yep. Let's see. There are 54 issues that have been individual issues that have been graded. What number is the one you were looking?
54 total issues that have been graded.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
This is issue number 35.
35.
Yeah. Let me see what issue number 35. There is 3 that have been graded. Well, 4 that have been graded. 1 was restored. The highest grade was a 9.0. Oh shit! What was the one that they have there? An 8.0? Yeah, there's one 8.0 and there's one 4.5. So literally there are only 3 of those books graded, and there's only 1 that's got a higher grade than that. But there is a 9.0 out there somewhere.
That's crazy.
So, yeah. Wow. I didn't even know they graded those things, but yeah, I guess they do.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So how do you, if I have to, I guess I have to join, I can get it free. So you have a membership, so you pay money.
I have a yearly membership that gets me 10% off grading every time I send something.
Oh, you did the $39 a year thing.
I think it was $25, but yeah. If it's gone up, then it's gone up, but
yeah, they've gone up.
Everything's gone up.
I'll have to join and see if I can get because I'd love to actually be able to look and see like oh wait, CGC registry? What's it called?
Census.
The census.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Search the CGC census. Okay, cool.
Yep.
So it's public. You just have title and issue.
Yeah, well, you can put in just the title, and it'll bring up all the different variations, and then you click on the one, and it'll show you all the different issue numbers that have been graded. Like if you go,
okay, yeah, I gotta be a member. I gotta sign in. So I'll see if I can do it later if I get a free, like a free thing. It's pretty cool, man.
Yep. I honestly had no clue that they did that. So that's very cool.
Me neither. Like, okay, let's try one that's like super terrible. So because there's some that are like really bad. Like some of them sold for. There was a couple that were like a 4. The last couple that were on here just like did not do well. Yeah, here it goes. Like weird Secret Agent X 2.5. Weird Tales. You want to look up Weird Tales?
Sure.
Number 195. That's what I'm saying. Number 195 in 1940.
Yeah. Weird Tales. What was the publisher for Weird Tales? Just zoom in on the picture. Short Stories was the name of the publisher.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And well, see, it's got 98 listings, but it starts with number 178. So it might have had a different title, might have had a different name prior to this. So what issue number is this?
195, volume 35.
195. All right, 195. Yep. There's 25 of these that are actually graded. So there's more and more of them that are graded. The highest grade being a 7.5, the lowest grade being a 0.5. So if this is a 4 something, it's right there smack in the middle. But see, the more that there are graded, the more that's available out there. Those ones that sold for big money are probably because there's only a small number that are graded.
They're very rare. They're very hard to find, is what it is.
Yep.
Interesting.
Grab one of the ones off of your shelf and tell me, and let me look it up and see how many are graded of it.
Okay. I'll grab a stack. Hold on. That'll be fun.
Well, just one is fine. Just randomly pick one and let's look.
All right. I'll pick the oldest because I have one that's like I was shocked. It's like in the 1930s or something.
Yeah.
It's not a good quality, but dude, I've got so many of these things now.
All thanks to Rick.
Dude, it's badass, dude. I love these books.
Well, it's thanks to me because I could have kept him and told you he didn't send you anything. You know?
No, it's totally on you. 100%.
No. When he originally showed them to me, it was like, oh, this is something Todd would get a thorough kick out of.
Hell yeah, dude! I love this stuff.
Yeah,
So
I still have a box for Avery. I know what's in it. I have not opened it up to see it. He sealed it, and it's really fragile, so I don't want to send it through the mail. So I'm either it's not a comic, it's something else. But I'm either going to hand deliver it, or next time Avery comes down and visiting, I'm going to give it to him. Most likely, I'll bring it to him next time I come through. But
these don't have numbers. These have just dates.
Look on the insides. There might be
they're in a bag. But let me.
Oh, heaven forbid!
I'm not opening. No, these are not easy to open up. So.
Well, who did that?
Me.
I know.
I'm protecting my shit, yo. All right, here we go. Let's just try it. Go look up Astounding Science Fiction.
Okay. Spell
March 19 AS.
Yep.
TOU.
Okay. Oh,
NDI.
Hold on. AST. O.
U.
NDING.
And then, do you know how to spell science fiction?
Science
fiction.
All right, let's look. And see, it's not coming up with anything. Let me try science fiction.
If not, I can pick up something else.
Science fiction. Let's see what it. See, it doesn't show an astonishing science fiction in here.
Astounding.
Yeah, there's no astounding science fiction.
Well, there's got to be because they have it graded.
Who's the publisher?
Street and Smith.
Let's see.
Street and Smith.
Nope, there's nothing in here. Let me look under Astounding Science. Astounding. God damn it.
I can pick something else. I just saw. I mean, they have them graded. I'm looking at them graded.
Astounding Science Fiction. March what?
It's got the dash. I know. I didn't type the dash though. That's the whole thing. I didn't type the dash, and that's how it's listed. All right. What's the number?
It's March 1939.
March 1938. We got that. March. That book is not listed. We have February 1939. That's issue number 99. And then it jumps to April 19. There is none. That is issue number 100. And it is not been graded. There is not a graded. It goes from 88, 89, 92, 93, 94, 99, 101. So it literally, that book does not exist graded.
Yeah, so it's not the best condition.
If you had it graded, it would be the one and only copy of that book.
It's not the best. It's not the best condition, but it's like I was like, holy crap, 1939.
Yeah, people are asking for $35 to $60 for it,
Ungraded?
ungraded.
You're looking at it right now?
Yeah, I googled it.
Yeah,
You
issue
can buy
90
it for.
Or like on
issue-
eBay or something?
Issue 99, the issue
yeah.
before it, there is only one graded copy in existence.
Some people want $20 for it. Some people want 60. Some people want 35.
And
So-
that probably depends on condition and so forth. But
So why wouldn't you just? I guess I don't understand. Like, why wouldn't you just buy it on eBay for? Because that's what I did. I looked at all on. I've been shocked by these prices because I looked at some of this stuff on eBay and they were like $5 to $25 maybe.
yep.
So
No,
why wouldn't you just take them and grade it and then sell it for like $300?
Because it costs money to grade, and if there's not somebody out there willing to buy it, and if it comes in a low grade, the chances somebody's going to buy it's even lower. It's a rare graded comics is a very, very fickle market. You know, when I did Avery, I got to tell you this. Somebody put a comment on my video, the live stream in which we showed off all the graded comics that I got. And the person's comment was, some of those I would never have graded. I would never have wasted the money grading them. Now, if you think about it, it was first appearance of Deadpool, first appearance of Gambit, first appearance of He-Man. There were first appearance of Spider-Hams. Like, and I commented, I responded back to his comment and said, which ones? Which of these would you have not graded? Tell me. And he hasn't responded yet. But it's like, it's such a fickle community, and sometimes they're just all full of shit. Let's just put it that way.
Well,
There's
okay, let me ask
there's
you,
a lot of people full of shit in the world.
Yes.
so
yes.
that 1939 book that we just looked up, right?
Yep.
It's probably, I'm just gonna say a 2.5 to a 4. It's pretty low.
Yep.
It's pretty beat up. But if it's the only one graded, would you grade it? Would you have it graded? Okay.
If somebody has a copy that may be in better condition and they have it listed on eBay for $20 and nobody's buying it, nobody's going to buy a graded copy. But once it's graded, that was one of the benefits of grading a comic back in the day. Because if you listed something on eBay and you said, this is a near mint copy, you had no idea. If you got it graded, certified graded, you could say, this is a 9.8 copy. You know what you were buying. You may get it, crack it open and open it up because you paid for it. But there's more and more people that are collecting graded comics to have a graded comic, not to have the comic itself. So I mean, it's the collecting portion of graded comics is totally different from when it originally started. You know, it was a way to, when you sold it, be certain what you were buying, you know? And now there's people that only want graded books. And then there's a lot of people out there like, I don't want a graded book. I don't want it. I have two guys that come to my store that have bought graded comics from me, and every single one has been cracked open and read.
Wow, really?
Yep.
Jesus.
But they're also not big money books. They're $25 books or whatever. But they either needed it for their collection or really, really wanted to read it. You know?
Interesting.
So it was important to them to open it up and read it.
So it might be worth if there was no slabbed book in that like if there was no slabbed book of that specific issue of a magazine or something, it might be worth it if you could find it in a higher grade.
Right.
So theoretically, not that I'm going to do it, but if I wanted to play the game, if I said, this book from 1939, there's not a single CGC graded book, I would probably do better to go on eBay, find one at a better condition, buy those or buy that, and then grade that, so it would at least have a higher grade as the only one.
That's true. But then again, are people looking for that book? Is there any significance to that book? Or is it just because it's from 1939 that it has value? You know?
Right.
So it's really, it's like I said, it's a very fickle game when it comes to grading stuff. I like to have stuff graded because I like the look, The way stuff looks
Yeah.
great, you know.
Because here's the thing: while you still can find those books for sale at $20 to $60 a pop,
Mhm.
eventually it's going to get even harder to find them.
Well, right. In
And
another 20 years, like it's going to be ridiculous.
In another 20 years, it's going to be even harder to
Right.
find them. So eventually, if you've got some that graded, that there's none out there graded, none that are sealed and protected forever, eventually their time will come. But it might be another 20 or 30 years. But it will come.
Right on.
And they'll be worth hundreds almost no matter what they are, if they're the only ones out there, or very, very few.
Right.
I mean, think about it. I mean, these days, if you have a page from an actual copy of the first Superman #1, it's worth something.
That's also because it's Superman #1.
Yeah.
One of my all-time favorite books.
Well, some of these writers are historically significant authors, and this is some of their early work, and it's first publication.
Some of these books have Isaac Asimov writings in it, so
yeah, and it might be the first place and first time some of those stories were published.
Right. What were you saying, Andrew?
One of my favorite books that I have in my collection of CGC graded books was one of my all-time favorite books, New Warriors #1.
Hold on,
I have a 9.6 copy. Granted, I'm always on the lookout for a 9.8, but right now I have a 9.6. This is one of the books I picked up in the 50-cent bin today.
That's the second printing.
It's the second printing, the gold background covered edition.
Awesome.
I'm probably going to get this graded for just myself.
Yeah.
You know, just because this is one of my all-time favorite books. And
sometimes those second printings are worth more than the first printing.
Yeah, that is absolutely true.
Because sometimes they're rarer.
That is right. They can be rare. I actually have one of the books that I got in this collection. Was one of the first appearances of Riri Williams, but it's the third print. The first print is like $100 book. The second print is like a $50 book, but the third print, which is even rare, is like a $60 book.
Oh, weird.
So yeah, I got the rare of the reprints.
The 2 reprints. I mean, growing up, reprints weren't worth squat because they were not the original book.
No, they were not.
But time has gone by. Now some people are like, wait, there's less of that than there is of those. And now they have value.
So stupid. It's so dumb, dude. It's impossible. God.
You can't foresee it. But that's what was so great about buying a lot of comics back then. They were $1 each. You could buy a bunch of them. Just, think of all the comics you have in your collection now that you paid $1 or 75 cents for when you were a kid, and they're $25 to $100.
Oh, I know, totally.
I want to share my screen with you real quick.
Yeah.
This is a prime example of what we're talking about. This is Hulk number 377. It's the first appearance of Professor Hulk, which is the intelligent Hulk, which made it into the last movie. The first appearance, the first print is a $30 book. The second print is a $56 book, and the third print is super scarce. It's a $400 book.
Click on that. Let me see the super scarce one. I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, no, I've never actually seen one in.
Yeah.
I've never actually seen one in real life. But yeah, the third print is extremely rare and hard to find, and worth many hundreds of dollars.
Wow, but back then none of us would have picked that up.
Nope.
Yeah.
We would have seen it in a 50-cent bin and walked on.
Which is why it's worth money, because no one's picked it up.
Yep.
God.
Hulk back then was on my pull list, dude. I was getting first prints.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Oh man, there's
But-
going to
but-
be a. Go ahead.
But back then, even being a poor kid at the trailer park, dude, I could afford to buy all the X-Men books, Hulk, Spider-Man. I you know.
You know, just remember back in the day in this case being the '90s. I'm old. I remember when you could walk into the local CVS or gas station, and there would be a spinner rack of comics, right next to the cash register, or
Yeah.
or right next to the porno mags, which kind of told you what they thought about it. But yeah, I mean, look, you could buy comic books anywhere. I mean, I went to high school in a tiny little town in New Hampshire, and we still had 2 comic book stores on the main street. You know, this is a place where there wasn't any industry, where half the storefronts were empty, but there were still 2 little storefronts that sold comic books, and they were open for years. So
Yeah. Dude, there was at one point in Jacksonville, we had over 20 shops. There were
There
over
were-
20.
There were
We had
lots
so
of
much,
places to
yeah.
buy comics. Yeah.
now,
Yeah.
and now
Plus every drugstore, every convenience store, every supermarket,
I
and
remember
the bookstores were starting to carry graphic novels.
I remember walking into the supermarket and finding comic books in the magazine racks.
Yeah,
And of course now
they were absolutely everywhere.
yeah.
Yeah.
If your sales got down to like around 100,000, they'd be like, "We're pulling you from the newsstand, and you're only going to be in comic shops direct order. You know, you're only going to be direct."
100,000 a day is considered a bestseller.
Yeah,
Well, that's how it is in Japan, though. Even now, you look. When I was visiting my mother, there was a CVS. No, there was a. Well, first of all, 7-Elevens in Japan are so much better than the 7-Elevens here. The food is much better. You don't have like a wooden plank masquerading as pizza that's been sitting under the heat lamp for about 8 hours. But you have actual real food there. But the second thing is, you walk in, they all have manga. They have the little tankobons. They have the Shonen Jumps. They have and it's not, you can buy them everywhere, anywhere. So now you can't buy comics anywhere anymore. I mean,
no, they left the newsstand, which all that stuff back then, that was the newsstand edition. They left the newsstand and completely, which was a mistake.
Yeah.
To leave it completely, they should have kept certain core books on the newsstand, because the distributors, they found out the distributors, because of the price point, were only circulating about half of what they put out.
Mm-hmm.
But they were like, well, what's the sell through of what you put out? Oh, 100%. And so they just should have cut back and had the in-house ads to tell you to go to your comic shop. It worked on me.
Yeah.
That's what I was buying G.I. Joe or Transformers or maybe Star Wars before that sporadically. Whenever I saw one at a 7-Eleven that caught my eye when I was a kid. Then one day I saw an ad for X-Men Inferno, and I knew who the X-Men were from the Spider-Man cartoons, the Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends cartoons. And I saw that ad, and it said something about find your comic shop or some shit. So I started going to a comic book shop near where my mom worked to buy X-Men, and then I started a pull list, and that started it. I wanted those I saw that ad and was told to go to my comics shop, and I started buying X-Men. It was over. It absolutely worked.
Right. Mine was a shop that was right next to the Italian restaurant that we would go to every week. And,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. Is that comic shop that was in there with the old pick and save, right?
Yep.
Yeah, mine.
That's where I started because I started right because it was actually across the street first, and I
Yeah.
discovered it because we would go to this Italian restaurant every week, and then it moved across the street, and I got a job at Pick and Save, and then I just would go over there and like spend all my money.
Yeah. Well, you remember where Carpet Barn was off of 75 on the west side?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Book Bin was right there beside Carpet Barn. My mom's work was behind
Barn.
there. Yeah, my mom's work was Westcom, which built nurse call systems back behind the Carpet Barn. So my bus dropped me off there in that area, and I would go to my mom's work till she got off work, and I would walk to the comic shop.
Awesome.
That's where I had my first pool.
When I was your age, I had to walk to a comic shop.
Yeah. It wasn't even a block.
Still, who walks anywhere nowadays?
Yeah.
I remember.
But
Sorry, go ahead.
Good.
But yeah, if you did miss something when it came out on the comic shop shelf, if it was a mainstream book, you would just peruse your convenience stores the next month and pick it up off the newsstand.
Yep. Zach, what were you going to say?
Well, I was going to say two things. So I remember when I was in college, this isn't comic book related, but there was down the road from my college in Allentown, Pennsylvania. You know, what you know, you guys have seen like High Fidelity, right? The movie, not the like.
Yes.
Well, there was a record store just like that.
Yeah, we had record stores like that.
And it was.
Is he talking about record stores? Way to bring the conversation down, Zach. Way to go. And I'm just kidding.
No, it was.
What was the one? What was the one that Todd used to go to, where he'd buy a record, or he'd buy a CD, copy it, and then take it back, and they gave him a full refund. You know what I'm talking about, you.
Oh yeah, we used to do that with the big chain record stores like Coconuts and stuff.
The point I'm trying to make is that before we all get all nostalgic for the good old days, they were pretty good. I mean, not that as being the 90s.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there was what was that record shop in 5 Points where you could get all the hard to find shit?
The point I'm trying to make though is that if you wanted to find out about really interesting music that beyond the path that was being played on the radio, that is back in the day. This is basically in the 90s. I didn't really like grunge that much. I basically like Soundgarden, and that's it. I never liked Nirvana. I never really got the appeal, and I still don't. But you had to go. It's like anything else. If you wanted to learn about stuff, you had to go down to the record store. You had to sacrifice hours of your life talking to these guys, learning about music, and then maybe you would find out about the Swedish psychedelic band that would change your life. The Swedish doom psychedelic band. But nowadays, of course, so I didn't really start listening to music until the internet came along. So, and I knew about comics, but I didn't really start caring about comics until the internet came along. So, much as we like to wax nostalgic about the good old days, it's having the world at your fingertips makes it easier to learn about stuff.
Well, you were more into fantasy books, right, and D&D and stuff.
Yeah, that too. So remember when we were talking? What I was talking about yesterday? I've had some time to think about it. You guys want to talk about it, or you don't really care?
Yeah, whatever, dude. You got the floor.
Oh, good. Well, Well, first, a political statement, if I may. Just kidding.
No.
Elon Musk is God.
Don't ruin your moment. Dusty.
Political statement timeout. All right, let's try again.
Okay. Now, what I was saying though is, I was bringing this up yesterday. I put this. So, Amazon basically bought out Barbara Broccoli. Now, if you don't know who that is, she's the daughter of the guy who basically produced, and she along with her late father, Cubby Broccoli, have produced every single James Bond movie from Casino Royale up until what was the last one? The last one that was really shitty where Bond died. I forget what it was called. I don't really give a shit. No Time to Die. No Time to Die. Which, ironically, spoiler alert, James Bond dies in that movie. So, basically, Amazon drove the proverbial dump truck of money up to her front door, literally like $1 billion for the rights. So now Amazon owns 007. So you know what that means, right? It means that they're basically they're going to do to James Bond what Disney did to Star Wars, and what Amazon is trying to do to Lord of the Rings. One problem with Lord of the Rings, they don't have the rights to any of the good stuff. So that's why we got Rings of Power, which, in my opinion, is not that bad a show. It's not good, but it's not Wheel of Time terrible. But see, this brings up an interesting point, though. First of all, is that at the same time, the Warner Brothers is being sued by the family of, I think, of Joel Siegel, one of the co-creators of Superman. This is like the seventh lawsuit over this over the past 50 years, and apparently because even though the U.S. rights have pretty much been settled, the foreign rights are still up in the air, and it looks like they're going to settle. And the reason why is these two things are seemingly unrelated. They actually are. Both of these things, Superman and James Bond, are really, really, really old. As in, their copyrights are now entering the public domain. So Casino Royale, the original novel, Casino Royale, which is that Ian Fleming wrote, it's already in the public domain in Canada. It'll be in the public domain in the U.S. in about 5 years. I think in Britain it's about 7 years. So, which means once that happens, I have to be a lawyer, but I think the value of the James Bond IP is going to take a hit because it belongs to everybody now. I mean, Conan the Barbarian, I think, has been in the public domain for years as far as the original books are concerned. So the point I'm trying to make is, we like to shit on like Disney and Warner Brothers and the people who basically took the properties that we loved growing up and basically turned them into. Well, I don't want to say woke. It's worse than that. They just turn into boring crap. But the thing is, though, is that we might be getting to the point where all these things that we love, Star Wars, Bond, whatever. Well, Star Wars is not going to be in public domain for a while, but it's getting to the point where the ability of the people of people to exploit them badly is going to come to an end, because once you're in the public domain, you're in the public domain. Look what happened with Winnie the Pooh. They made like a really shitty horror movie out of it. At least I heard it was shit. I haven't seen it. So I'm thinking, I think this is where this is going to help us is, you got all these places, these companies, these mega corporations, these studios, even comic book companies to a certain extent, who have so destroyed their own ability to create anything new, and they become so reliant on these ancient properties. What are they going to do when those properties become? It's not going to happen immediately, of course. But what are they going to do when it gets to the point where anybody can do anything with them?
Probably just buy other people's stuff.
So maybe we're in the wrong racket. Maybe what we need to be doing is figuring out new interesting ways to like make Mickey Mouse into a badass superhero. You got to make it popular again, and then like sell it back to Disney and go retire on an island somewhere. Go with palm tree. But no, what do you guys think? Is what I'm trying to say.
Who wants to go first?
Honestly, I'd rather create my own characters and after I'm dead, have my kids sell them for billions of dollars to Disney and have it made into a movie then. I could care less about using somebody else's property to do anything.
Well, that's the thing.
I don't want to do... I would rather do my version of Conan with my Crom character and do something cool and original with it, or maybe just something cool.
Well, the thing is,
I don't know how original it would be, then try to do my own version of Conan, or Conan.
Well, here's the thing to consider is that, most fanfic tends to fall into that camp anyway. It's basically playing with other people's IP, only you're not getting paid for it. And 99% of I feel like something like half of all fanfic is just bad. Like 20% of it's like gay erotica. But most of it's just not very good. Some of it is actually very good. But that's like literally like diamonds in the rough. I don't know. But I mean, look, most of it is basically written by either by teenage girls or men masquerading as teenage girls, or bored housewives who then turn it into like 50 Shades of Grey style erotica. But I don't know. It's I guess it's an interesting time to be alive, because all of a sudden, what I see is that all these I hate to use the word franchise or IP, because it kind of like diminishes what they are, which is like creative, something that's creative and interesting. But they've taken up so much space in the culture for such a long time, and now through a combination of just time and sheer incompetence on the part of the people who own them, I guess just oversaturation, especially in the case of Star Wars. There's a big space opening up. And it'll be interesting to see what rushes in to fill it. I hope it's us, because we can definitely use the money.
Well, money, but I mean, I think this is where it's going anyway, right? Like the next properties, I'm convinced the next properties are going to be coming from the internet. They're not going to be coming from like, it's going to be coming from a community supported project, period. It's going to be the Mr. Beast of cartoons or whatever. Like it's there's no question. Like these companies can't create anything new, and they don't actually need to anymore. They can just look at the fan base of another person and then decide if they want to keep it or not. You know what I mean?
But the thing is, though, is that if that's the case, then I don't think those companies they may not get the chance, because I think I mentioned before, a lot of those internet-based stories, they're like places like Mr. Beast and so on. Whenever they've tried to transition over to more traditional media, they always fail, because they're with television or movies, it takes forever to get anything done, because there's so much bureaucracy, so many hoops you got to jump through, and so on and so forth. Whereas the internet guys, they can put something out in days. And I'm thinking, you were showing us that that AI with anime is only going to get better. I'm thinking that the next Star Wars, the next Star Trek, by the way, it's going to come from the internet, and it's going to come from a bunch of guys who are basically using AI to generate content that's it'll either be like straight up animation, or it'll be realistic enough that the uncanny valley doesn't really apply. And they won't be using actors. They won't be using studio techs that are unionized. It'll be probably 8 or 9 guys who script up about enough money to buy the computer equipment and the program and the programming licenses. And if they're good at what they do, they'll cover their costs with their first release, and then after that, it's all gravy. And the traditional media approach won't work, because you've got a company that employs 10,000 people versus a bunch of guys, like 8 or 9 guys who are who can turn on a dime, as opposed to an elephant that has to really slow down a lot before you can even think about turning around.
Right.
So it's going to be a great time if you know how to use AI. It's not going to be so good if you're an actor, because I think being an actor in a lot of these movies, you're not going to need it anymore, because if the technology gets to the point where you can actually use AI to do all the scut work that usually comes with traditional digital animation, it's like 90% of you don't have to pay some guy to spend 12 hours a day for half a second of footage, because he has to move every single finger, one frame at a time. But you have AI to do all that for you. Like you're saying, just design the keyframes and have AI fill in the rest and just clear up the mistakes. You're going to have cinematic level, stuff, but not at cinematic prices. And that's going to open.
Well,
that's
I
gonna-
think
Yeah.
I think you're missing a little bit. I think you're gonna see the way that actors. So like just what we're learning now with like Runway and some of these other things, acting still plays a part on it. So you're still gonna have actors who are body actors, and you'll also have the real actors who will be getting paid probably more, or at least as much for their likeness. You'll have Scarlett Johansson in a movie, but she won't actually be there. And it'll be Scarlett Johansson in a movie from when she's like in her 30s, while in real life she's like in her 60s, right? So you'll start. I think you'll start to have classic people. You're just gonna have them like.
Imagine this: someone does someone like does an Indiana Jones like movie with Scarlett Johansson as a female lead, a young Harrison Ford, as in like 20 like Harrison Ford in Raiders of the Lost Ark as the male lead, and Humphrey Bogart as like the world movie sidekick,
Right.
and Marilyn Monroe as the femme fatale. That could happen.
Right. Yeah, that totally can happen.
It'll be interesting. I mean, but of course the thing is, though, is that I mean, remember, have you guys ever heard of Sturgeon's Law?
Refresh me.
99% of everything is shit, basically, and 1% is pure genius. So you see that. So you see that in the self-publishing world a lot. I think there's something like 10,000 books a day are being published on Amazon. In depending on of course how it breaks down by genre is different. Most of those books, some of the books are brilliant. I hope mine is. Most of them are kind of like meh. They're all derivative. They all have the same plots. You read one, you read them all. And some of them are just pure absolute garbage. And a lot of the AI stuff is garbage because AI still can't write. You still need a human being to like reread a lot of it. But there's a lot more of it being produced right now, and most of it is shit.
Right.
But that also means that there's more of the good stuff too, just pure numbers. So I think when AI movie making, like AI filmmaking, finally comes into its own, you're going to see a lot of crappy movies. B, you're going to see a smaller number of brilliant movies, but there's going to be more of those movies out because just more stuff is being made in general. And C, the porn industry is going to disappear, at least as we understand it. It's not going to use live people anymore because why would it?
Yeah.
So
Well, I thought they were doing the new Apple glasses or whatever. They were projecting like a downward table view of an NBA game, and it was a real live NBA game. It looked like the Star Wars scene when they're playing that little virtual chess game thing.
yeah.
On the Millennium Falcon. It looked like that. Like it looked like just like you were looking down from afar at all the players. It was crazy. But it looks like you're there, which is pretty cool. It's very interesting stuff.
Yeah. It'll be fascinating to see how it turns out. I mean, I think a lot of the big media companies aren't going to make it because, well, never mind. They're too slow. Big and fast is not something that really combines that well. It's going to be small and nimble.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the day when we're all suing each other over who created what because of all the money that's involved. It'll be like, Todd's Todd and Drew are the Kirby and Lee, and we're arguing over who's Kirby and who's Lee.
Yes.
And Avery will be the weird guy, the Jim Steranko. Who's the guy who helped create Superman and then became like an objectivist or something?
You mean Spider-Man? You mean Ditko?
Yeah, and Avery will be Steve Ditko.
Sure.
And I'll be Jim Steranko. But I'll be the guy who wrote most of the X-Men run in the 90s.
That's good.
And Dusty can be the Martin Goodman. And if you know who that is, Dusty, I'll give you a lollipop.
I don't know if Dusty cares, but
I can't hear you, Dusty. You're muted.
Oh, good. Yeah, just so you all know, we'll be sending out another round of releases tonight where you sign all of your rights away. Okay, thanks.
I don't say this. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, Avery, do you see yourself as a Steve Ditko kind of character, hold up in a Manhattan office for 30 years, like writing comics no one ever wants to read because everyone only cares about your early work with the company you despised?
No, because Todd would never screw me over that way.
this is true.
If Todd makes millions, I'm gonna do just fine.
That's true.
That's true.
Plus Todd knows I'm the kind of dude that'll show up on your front door for that kind of money.
That's true. The problem, I keep trying to fuck these guys over, but they keep finding out where I live. I keep moving every couple of decades, but they still fucking find me. God.
Yeah. I in this arrangement, I'm not worried about it at all.
Honestly, I got something I can hold over his head because his kids like me more than they like him.
That
Just
is
like
also
my
true.
my kids like him more than they like me. So
That's funny.
yeah.
This is also
my-
true.
My kids think my friends are like the bomb. So I don't know why.
It's the way we
They're strange.
because it's the way we pick on you. They think it's funny.
Yeah, that's
Well, it's because
probably-
we've been in their lives, like their whole lives.
Yeah, we've been around like always.
Yep. All right, well, guys, I got to go get some work done. So unless there's something great worth of
Bless you.
topic to talk about, I'm going to dip a little early.
No, we're good, man. We're right on time. I mean, I think we did a good job.
Yeah.
So, and Andrew, thank you for popping in, considering that you were like, at a convention and doing stuff today. So.
I did tell you guys I was going to be late. So,
Well, anyway, but you showed up, and that's all that matters, man.
yes, but love you guys.
Love you, man.
All right.
Everybody,
See ya.
happy Friday. Have a great weekend. Thanks, Carrots. Thanks, MK. And yeah, man, have a good weekend.
Later.
Absolutely.
Latest.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody, and take care of each